this is actually an example of a quantifier fallacy. If you really listen to what I said there is somebody whom everyone loves. That means everybody in the world knows one person who they love. There's a fallacy. Today, everyone has fallen victim at some point in their lives to a fallacy. Whether that be in the past, the present, and it will happen in the future. My research has informed me of 2 specific fallacies and how to prove some of the examples. 2 fallacies we will be looking at today are the quantifier fallacy and the fallacy of heap, also known as the continuum fallacy. Let's start today by defining what a fallacy is. According to dictionary.com, a fallacy is a deception, misleading, false notation, false belief, or misleading or unsound argument. There are many different types of fallacies, which my fellow classmates will be going over. I'll give you a little overview. There's a fallacy of false cause, relative conclusion, begging the question, fallacy of composition, and many, many more. But those will come later and have already been. The reason why we prove fallacies, or by proving fallacies, we are preserving truth. And by preserving truth, we are cultivating a conclusion that will be more honest, it'll be truthful, it'll be more correct, more logical, I guess you could say. So let's take a deeper look into fallacies, and let's observe the quantifier fallacy. So the quantifier fallacy, in short, or the quantifier shift, you could say, is when quantifiers like some or every, well, it's not up there, but some or every swap in an argument somewhere. Some or every, that's the big thing in the quantifier fallacy. My first example is everybody has something to believe in, therefore there's something that everybody believes in. This is obviously a fallacy because we're talking about it today, but everybody has something to believe in. Yes, everybody has something to believe in. That's what it is. So you read it up and down, and you go bottom, top, middle. Yes. Everybody has something to believe in. Therefore, there is something that everybody believes in. There's something that everybody believes in. This is the formula used to find out if it fits into this formula. It is usually most of the time a fallacy, and if it is, you can see the 2 groups and the relation they have. This is obviously a fallacy because not everybody in the entire world can believe in the same thing at one time. It's never going to happen. Even if a large group does believe in one similar thing, not everyone will. So it's a fallacy. Another one is every person has some moral values, therefore there are some moral values which every person shares with everyone else. This one's a little bit different in that it gives you the first grouping and it gives you the relation, but it doesn't give you the second grouping until the second part of it. And in the second part it says, there are some moral values which every person shares with everyone else. Meaning, it's almost kind of the same as this one in that it's saying every person has a moral value that everyone else has the same. So like Mrs. Rouser and Max have the same moral value, and that equates to every person in the entire world, which is not correct, because not everyone has the same values. Yep. And the other one I gave you was at the beginning of my speech, and it is if everybody loves someone, therefore there's somebody whom everyone loves. This one's pretty obvious. It's a simple one. Everybody loves someone. It's pretty clear to explain the way it is, and so therefore there's somebody whom everyone loves. There's someone whom everybody loves. There's top to bottom, bottom, top. And that's the quantifier fallacy. That's the formula. Next fallacy we'll be looking at is the bald man fallacy. Yes, bald. Pretty stupid. But and I'll get to the reason why I say that later. But it's also called the fallacy of heap or the continuum fallacy. It is a fallacy that causes someone to reject a claim because it is not as precise as the person would want it to be. My first example, just get right into it, is the drinking age. A law states that you have to be 21 to drink. Now, someone could argue and say, well, 1 day is not that big of a difference. Like if you're 19 or 20 and whatever, how many days. It's not that big of a difference, right? No. So someone could argue that, therefore, if the 1 day doesn't make a difference, 1,095 single days won't make a difference either. Therefore, the drinking age at 18, or drinking at 18, is is not a big difference. There isn't a difference, which is absolutely wrong, which means there's two extremes here. There's 21 and then 18. And there's this days in between that make the difference. So someone's saying 1 day, which would be here, to 21 is not a big deal, right? Reality is really not. But the continuation of the increase of these steps increases the difference, which means that 3 years is a huge difference. This is a fallacy. The next example is the loss of hair. This is the bald man fallacy. This is one of the most common ones used to explain fallacy of heat. This fallacy says if a single hair doesn't make, or wait, my bad, sorry. If I lose just one hair, I will not be bald, right? I lost one hair. You lost one hair. You wouldn't be bald, right, Patrick? Yeah.
Little spot.
One hair? Okay. Every time I lose a hair, the loss of that one hair will not make me bald. Therefore, I will never go bald. So these are the two extremes. Yeah, bald. Yeah, not bald. Obviously, you see a bald person, you know they're bald. This is a dumb one. Just at that. So there's the continuation right here, which is the middle, and obviously, even though there is not a distinct difference between bald and not bald, the inside of it, the two extremes are very noticeable and absolutely achievable. So that is the fallacy of heat, or the bald man fallacy. The quantifier and the fallacy of heat are two fallacies that we are used today. That's what I taught you guys and will now know about. Now with the knowledge of the existence and proof of these fallacies, we can know how to diffuse them when they're used in an argument, whether you use them or someone else does. And remember, bald guys are still bald even if they claim not to be.